and the dogs are about to have their lunch. And today they're having, what's this? Duck and chicken with butternut squash, green beans, and a sprinkle of cranberries. Yeah, I woke up this morning and I wasn't expecting like such like lovely messages from you guys on Instagram. Last night I just shared like a few posts and I just called it a night, went to bed, and like the response I got this morning was just so nice. So thank you guys so much for, you know, sharing my happiness with me, sharing my growth with me. I figured I will talk about it here a little bit more because some of you guys asked me to expound a bit. Like, to those who don't know me, you know, like I'm generally a very open person, but I felt a bit nervous sharing what I did yesterday because I really was just putting out there, admitting that I became quite insecure after my divorce. Like last night I was just in bed thinking about the weekend, how wonderful it was, just thankful that the kids traveled so well, you know, thankful that Archie helped us out so much. And then, you know, I mentioned that, I don't know, have you guys ever heard of this series, This Is Us? It's a brilliant series. There's just so much you can learn from it. And there was a part in the series where Rebecca Pearson, she said when she left the hospital to have her babies, she returned back to the driveway of her home, whole different person. And I really felt that. I felt like me and my ex-husband, we both like just became a different person pretty much overnight. Before you become a mom, you're really good at looking after yourself, and suddenly you're just so responsible for this little life that you created. You know, from then on, you really put that child before yourself. And you know, as a mom, like I just have a lot of memories just feeling very unattractive as a mother. And you know, it wasn't just that, like my body was different. I knew it came with it, obviously. I knew it was going to change. And while like I know my body was and is strong and it's amazing for everything it's done, I can only admit that like there were a lot of moments I felt unsexy, like unattractive, just undesirable. But it wasn't like just the physical side. I felt like, you know, even though I didn't ever like want to become a nigger, like eventually I felt like I was becoming that. When my marriage dissolved, for some reason, I had this subconscious belief that, you know, me as a mother, to me, is amazing. I'm so proud of it. But like the subconscious belief is that me as a mother is unattractive. When RG and I started dating, obviously we're really, really happy getting to know one another. We had a lot in common. You know, we just like the simple things. But at the same time, because of my past and I guess like the trauma, like I had my guard up. It wasn't that I didn't want to. I felt like I couldn't let myself depend on anyone. And I think like I just wanted to feel empowered and strong that I could do it, which was a lot of it. But I think like deep down, I was scared. I was scared like to show the vulnerable me. I feel like there was like some sort of fear of like rejection or disappointment. So, but anyways, I just wanted to have that like strong card. And the reality is like, you know, the stuff that you project out there, you could fool the world. You really can't fool yourself. Deep down, I just wanted someone to tell me like I was going to be okay and not to be scared. Like I'm proud of Lindy's side. I'm proud of how she shows up as a friend, as a mother, especially as a mother. But like it took me time to like really believe I was worthy of love, guys. At the point I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that. Like if I were speaking to someone, if I weren't Lindy, right? And Lindy was telling me like what she was thinking deep down, I'd be like, what are you talking about? You're so worthy of love. Yeah, I didn't let myself believe that. I told you guys like I waited 10 months to introduce Archie to the kids. You know, like I was falling in love with him, but like I held my guard up. And I remember at the beginning when he'd come to visit, and like I would feel anxious the entire time. Of course, like he was good with them, he was patient, he'd be listening, playing with them, but I was just so tense. And whenever he'd leave, I'd just feel relief, because the entire time, like I'm like thinking, is this too much for him? Does he need a break? Does he need to be away? When I think back now, like I know I was just like conditioned to believe that like, oh, the kids should just be me, like I should be the only one looking after them, you know, like not to shade my ex-husband, because now he is wonderful with the kids. Like back then, he, like even when he was here, like it didn't feel like it, you know, like often he was up in his office, often he was out of the country, but like that conditioned me to like to not want to bother anyone. Like I know my kids are great, I know they're lots of fun, but like I have that subconscious belief that like, you know, if this is too much for him, that's okay. I know kids is not for everyone, which is absolutely true and valid, but you know, the thing was RG wanted to stay. He wanted to keep getting to know them. He wanted to be like part of our lives, not just mine, but Isaac and Ayla's. So yeah, it's like it took me time to get used to it. It got to a point where he'd get quite mad, to a point like he'd just send me upstairs. He'd rent me a bath, and like I'd have a cup of tea while I'm in the bath, so he can just, you know, chill with the kids. And it wasn't like him thinking, oh, this is a big grand gesture. He didn't see it as a big deal, but like to me it was a huge deal, and which I am thankful. But yeah, as time gone on, I guess, and I did try to push him. I didn't want to, but like I couldn't help myself from doing that. Like he just stayed. From the very beginning, from our very first date, like he always knew the kids would be my first and top priority. And I knew like this would be a deal breaker for a lot of people. And that's, again, that's okay, it's completely valid. Some people, you know, kids just aren't for them. So fast forward now, like it's taken some time. I think that trip was very defining for me, because I finally like was able to just feel normal. Like the four of us, I can ask for help and I can receive help openly. I feel like I no longer feel afraid to like show all the different parts of me. I have a lot to work on. I've yet to give myself more grace and kindness. I guess it really is true what they say, when you meet the right person, they will just love all the sides of you, even the sides that you think are unattractive. I no longer try to compartmentalize Lindy and mother. It used to be easier to separate, but as time went on, it just got harder and harder to sort of separate. And the more vulnerable that I became, the more scared I got. And you know, once I got over that and realized that, okay, he actually does want to stay with me, working on myself and just building my self-worth, you know, now I'm just like, I feel free, like I'm just me. There is no, you know, there's no separation of identity of Lindy and mummy, you know, I'm just me, and it feels really, really good. Now I'm in this relationship where I feel like we can both say goodnight to the kids, we can both tuck them in, and I can like, you know, jump into bed with RG, like cuddle, you know, just talk about like our day. Like I don't really remember doing that. The compliments was something that was odd to me as well, you know, like I wasn't used to being told like, oh, you're so beautiful tonight, or I'm just so happy to be, like just little things like that, like I wasn't used to. Yeah, like I guess what I'm saying is, don't settle. Right now, my ex and I, we're becoming friends and we're co-parenting well, and I can see just how far he's come. He still tries his best to like show up for the kids and to help me out when I need it, and vice versa. Now that Max and I can like chat more, like I hope that we can have more family days, and that's going to be good for the kids as well, to see mom and dad like always be family, we'll always be a team, but also kind of see like the example of love as well. Like I hope that like RG will be in my future. I think it was scary for me to share out there because, you know, before I felt secure, I felt like, you know, everything was good, and then you get knocked off track. And then like here comes like the trauma, the PTSD, the false beliefs, and you become this version of you and you're still trying to figure things out. And I am proud of who I am today. I'm so proud of Isaac and Nayla. I'm proud of my ex-husband. I'm proud of RG. Like, I'm proud of how we've all like showed up individually. I know I still have a lot to work on myself, and I will. I'm so glad I'm not where I used to be. I know there's still a long way to go to where I want to be, but I like the person I am, and I like the person that I'm becoming. Don't settle, guys. Don't make yourself smaller for anyone. Know your worth. I'm just rambling now. Anyways, I'm gonna go get some groceries and step out of this.